Blog Talk Radio.
Enlightenment Evolution Network presents the Enlightenment Evolution Hour with your host, Rob Gauthier. Hey everybody, this is the Enlightenment Evolution Hour with your host, Rob Gauthier. This is a show that's part of the Enlightenment Evolution Network. And speaking about the network, we're going to talk about a couple things. But this show is on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And I will be here every Wednesday, rain, snow, sun, or shine. Now, today is a very interesting day. Today is the very first Wednesday of the month, which means that today, Treb will be taking all callers, questions from everyone. And also Philip Malika is joining us today to help assist with Treb's channeling, and we'll bring him in as soon as these announcements are over. And Philip Malika is the man who's doing his own show on the network, and we'll talk about that right now. The network's officially running, everybody. We've got it going. We're filling up. I'm also asking anyone who has experience or doesn't have experience in radio, anyone who's interested in hosting a Blog Talk network radio show on our network, I'd like you to make a 15-minute recording and let me know who you are, what makes you think that you are qualified to join the network, what kind of information you could share, what kind of things that you can bring to the bigger game, anything like that that you want to share, and a little sample of what your show would be like. You could send that in to myself. Contact me at trebchanneling@gmail.com. If you do that, just go ahead and send any audio recording, or you could link it to your YouTube account. I'll check all those out, but we're going to be filling up the network pretty quickly. We have at least 5 or 6 people now that are interested, and many more coming. The network's been running. It's been doing great. We've had tons of people respond to the 2 shows that we're running, as well as mine. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about those shows tonight. Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, we have Daniel Scranton hosting Heart to Heart Talk Radio with Daniel Scranton. On that night, you can join Daniel Scranton as featured guest. They discuss topics as the shift, ETs, global events, channeling, energy work, toning and sound healing, manifestation, and all things metaphysical. Each show will open the phone lines to the callers, generating high-frequency discussions on anything and everything related to living on the planet Earth and beyond. Daniel Scranton is a channeler. He's a sound healer, and he lives in Ojai, California. So he's been working with the Creators, which is a collective consciousness group, since 2010. He also channels Ophelia and the Hathors. And he holds classes for everything, teaching channeling. He does teleclasses. He does a bunch of great work. So Monday night, 9:30, go ahead and check him out. Tuesday night, we were having Carlos Ruiz with the Galactic Families, but that did get changed. There are some things going on, and that's going to be a lot further off in the future than we had planned, and that one's got a bit of a question mark behind it. We're trying to get a hold of the team that deals with those people, and they've got a great group there. Awaken Within, whose birthday it is today, and we'd all like to wish her a happy birthday, and Kalina wanted me to tell you specifically that she's sorry that she didn't get to come on today and help host, but technology didn't allow her, and she wanted to give you that great happy birthday, Awaken. So, but Awaken's part of that group with Carlos, all those guys, real great guys. So we'll have updates on that later. Wednesday, me, myself, and I, Rob Gauthier, the creator of the Enlightenment Evolution Network, will host the show that started all, the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, which is where you're at tonight. So you're very familiar with this. And everybody knows that Wednesdays I will have on the first Wednesday of the month channeling with Treb like I'm doing tonight. The third Wednesday I will have guests. And the other 2 Wednesdays, the 2nd and 4th, and possibly 5th, depending on how the month falls, I will be doing freestyles, doing whatever, talking about whatever, taking callers, whatever you guys want to co-create that night. Sometimes I'll bring on guests for those weeks. It's just whatever our heart and spirit leads us to is what we'll do that time. Now, Thursdays, Philip Malika, who is with us tonight, who will be help assisting this channeling tonight and guest hosting. Philip Malika will be hosting the Philip Malika's Consciousness Evolution Hour. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. You can welcome Philip Malika's Consciousness Evolution Hour. He's already had a show. He's going to have another one tomorrow night. Please go on and support him. And if you didn't hear his first show, there's discussions that are in depth of a huge range of metaphysical topics, perspective of fifth-dimensional living. Topics include shift, fifth-dimensional living, relationships, channelers, channelings, non-physical, off-world energies, new world paradigms. It's basically everything. And he's going to help attempt to guide listeners to their own abilities to find value, fulfillment, peace, love, and ease through a heart-based living. And that will be his great opportunity to share his great information with you. He also runs and admins a Facebook group called Consciousness Evolution 2.0 group on Facebook. He also admins a Bashar group too, and that one's a really great group. He'll be talking about that a little bit later tonight. Now, another show we have that will be up and coming Friday night, The Earth Experience with Queen Angel. And Queen Angel will be hosting her own upcoming show called The Earth Experience on Friday nights. Dates and details are on the works, and they will be out to you guys soon. What Queen is going to be attempting to do on the Earth Experience is explore the soul's expansion through the human experience on Earth. The first topic explored, the very first topic that she's going to dive into is what happens when the shift hits the fan, navigating and expanding through the exciting confusions that we manifest as new fifth-dimensional beings. It'll be very exciting. Me and her have had a lot of chance to talk about lots of ideas, and it's going to be great. And she is with us tonight. She was going to help us assist in the channeling with Treb and take those calls and talk to everyone. But unfortunately, technology did not allow that tonight, and that's why Philip stepped up and helped. And Kalina Angel will be our permanent guest host on the first Wednesday of every month on the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, so that she can help assist with Treb too. If there's ever a time where she's sick or not, we've got plenty of great people too, like Philip, like Daniel, who might be able to help us out on those too. I know Philip loves to do this. I know it's one of his greatest excitements. And I'd like to bring in Philip and kind of say hey to everybody.
Well, hello, Rob. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great, brother, and thanks for coming on tonight, helping us out. It's a great help, and it's going to be a very exciting evening while we chat to Treb.
You bet it is. I love talking to Treb, and I'm so excited, of course, to do this anytime. And anytime I get a chance to an opportunity to do something with you, Rob, it is my greatest excitement.
Oh, absolutely. It's wonderful. I got a chance to listen into your call or your show and then call in too. I really am enjoying this network. So many shows on here, so many great topics that are being talked about. For those who might have missed your first show, can you kind of give them an overview of the things that you talked about in there? Because I really would like people to check that out if that's in their excitement to do.
Yeah, basically, I kind of laid some groundwork, Rob, for what we were going to be going into in the future, gave everyone some background on me and kind of where I came from coming into this, which is I kind of look at myself as sort of a layman because I didn't have any real metaphysical background prior to 2009, so I kind of came at this all fresh, and I just was fortunate enough to have as my first and is still my best teacher and guide is Seth. And so a lot of my work centers around the books of Seth, the framework that he laid out for the nature of personal reality and the nature of physical reality. And so I kind of laid out some of those concepts, some of those basic ideas for people, gave them a background, and we started to discuss a few things, but by the time I looked up, an hour had passed, and I couldn't believe it. So lots more shows, lots more exciting stuff coming. And in fact, I just want to take a moment and plug my special guest for tomorrow night, who is going to be joining me, will be Allison Hamilton, who is in our Consciousness Evolution group. And Allison is an open channel and has been doing tremendous work channeling different energies. Just briefly about her, after many years of study and intention, she began connecting consciously with a great number of different energies that are communicating now through her channelings. She's become very adept at becoming an open channel, recognizing variances in energy within her, and then allowing those energies to communicate to us in words. Well on her way in the process of blending her physical self with her higher self. That's something that we're going to be discussing a lot in the show, and allowing that to express through her. So please join us tomorrow night, and I assure you it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful episode and a wonderful meeting with Allison.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it, brother. I know that that's going to be such an exciting thing, too. I've got another couple of new guests that are going to be lining up also here for the show coming up with myself. And I know that that's one thing that bringing these new shows out, too, like Daniel had Rachel. Can you help me with the last name? I know you said it better than I did.
It's
Archelaus.
Archelaus.
All right. She was a wonderful, wonderful lady. Actually, I had a chance to talk to her on the show that evening and asked her for an aura drawing, and she does aura drawing for people. If you contact her, I'm not exactly sure if what the exact amount that she would charge every basic person, but I know that she does that kind of work. And it's very, very wonderful. She did a picture of myself and Kalina together, the one that we put on Facebook, and it was beautiful.
Oh, that is a beautiful picture.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually try to get a Photoshop layover and put that picture on top of each other so it shows the aura in real time, because I think that would be really, really nice to show people her capability of doing that. She's a great person, and obviously I'd like to have her as a guest on. And that's the thing, too. A lot of these guests that are coming on are people who are up and coming in the metaphysical community and or have been there for a long time. And some of these people have really brought great concepts. Brad Johnson was on with me last week. Or the week before last, pardon me, and he did wonderful channeling, wonderful talking about some of his own life experience, and it really helps expand the more shows that we have, and pretty soon we'll be up 7 shows a week, and maybe if the response from the public is as good as it has been with our 2 new shows, with the rest of our shows, then I imagine we could set up a count and start doing 2 shows a day, like a double channel or mirror channel, kind of like in 5D does.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
I love where this is all going. You know, I've got some guests coming on too that I've talked to. I haven't firmed up dates yet, but I've got people from the Consciousness Evolution 2.0 group on Facebook that just amazing, wonderful people, and some other people in mind that I've just come in contact with. You know, the energies that brought us together in one way or another, and these are amazing people, and I can't wait to get them on the show and get their unique perspectives on everything that's going on. I love the conversations that we have on Facebook, and I can't wait to get them on the show. And I'm so excited about this whole network and all these shows that are coming on. This is just going to get better and better, Rob.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to get so great, and that's the beautiful thing. It's expanding and growing. It's evolving. There's the evolution, and we're all becoming more enlightened for it. So the name plays out perfectly. I love the idea of it. For those of you, too, who don't know, the way that you can find out information, if you're looking for the next show that's going to be coming up, sometimes I do it at the last minute, and I do apologize to that. We're trying to get a website up, which should be up in the next month, hopefully in the next couple weeks, where you'll be able to go look at archives and new comings. But if you keep your eye on the Enlightenment Evolution Network like page, before every show is there, I make sure to post up the link to at least a half hour to an hour before each show. So if if you set your updates for that page, you go like that page and you set your updates, you will always find out when the show is coming. Also, if you sign up on Blog Talk Radio and follow the Enlightenment Evolution Network, you will get email updates, and you can set your own times. If you want to know the day before, it'll tell you the day before. An hour before, it'll tell you. It'll give you an email telling you when the next show is coming up. So you can keep your eye there. Also, I know, Philip, in your group that you run, the Consciousness Evolution 2.0, you're always posting links up there. I have a page itself, a like page for Facebook that's called the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, which is specifically for the show, but I also post links to other shows there too. And we also have a group that has over 700 people within the first month, the Enlightenment Evolution Network group, where you can come in and you don't have to just look out for the show there. You can add your own information, you can talk to people, you can communicate. So please check those out. Those are definitely, I always post every show that's on our network on my own Facebook page. So if you'd like to, you can follow Rob Gauthier on Facebook. If you don't know what my face looks like, you'll be able to see it on the Blog Talk link tonight. That beautiful face will be
what
right there.
What a lovely face.
I know.
We
right?
love that face.
Well, I appreciate everyone loving it, because I've had some people at school when I was a kid always tell me how not cute it was. So I'm glad to know that in my older years that took on some appreciation from people. So. Oh, Kalina definitely makes me feel a lot better about that also. She gets my head big a little bit sometimes. So that's a wonderful thing. And if you guys are going to be looking for any of the links, let us know. If there's anything we can do to help make that easier with you guys, let us know. But those pages that I talked about on Facebook, you can come check out. And that's one thing, too, I want to talk about real quick about the Enlightenment Evolution Hour as a show. This show's been on for over 9 months now. It's went through a lot of changes, had a lot of energy lent to it, received to it, and also given out. And that's the idea here. Each one of the hosts on the network has links in their own description for the internet link in the archives or anywhere, for basically you can go and donate financial means to any one host for their show and efforts. And that's something that you don't have to do, but we broadcast this with money that comes out of our pocket for the betterment of all people, and that's fine. We will do that because we enjoy the co-creation. But if it feels in your interest to give money back in a donated way, we all individually have our own. And also for the network, if you want to donate to this show or to the network in general, you can always go to trebchanneling.com. That's my website where I do my Treb work with. You can hit the donate button, send money through there. Or if you have PayPal, trebchanneling@gmail.com is the email address. You can always go there. What's your PayPal for your show, brother? I forget.
There's a link on the page show that actually works, I think, after much hand-wringing and teeth gnashing. But if they don't want to get it there, they can find me the best way to do it is to find me on Facebook at the Consciousness Evolution Group. I'm there every day just about, and keep track of what's going on there, and I'm real easy to find, very, very easy to find. So just look for Philip Mollica on Facebook, 1 L and Philip, 2 L's, Mollica, and all of us, Daniel, Rob, and myself, are very easy to find on Facebook.
Oh, absolutely. We stick out like sore thumbs, so you can definitely find us anywhere.
That's by design.
That's absolutely by design. And that's the thing, we're accessible. We're all easily able to get a hold of. So if you're interested in donating or just talking or adding your own energy, when you guys call in, that's part of the co-creation. When you listen to all the shows on the network or the show that fits you the best, you're adding energy to the co-creation. Tonight, you can call in at area code 347-308-8788, or you can use Skype if you already have a Blog Talk account. Those are a couple ways to call in and co-create this experience tonight. Tonight, we're going to be channeling with Treb, and we're going to start that pretty soon. But I just wanted to chat with everyone for a little bit, just get the feeling of how things are going. Another announcement that I missed, this summer, I've got 2 events that will be coming up. We've got the Portal to Ascension event. Details will be coming up for that soon. But the details that we've got so far is in July, there's a 3-day event. It's going to be 23 hours, over 20 speakers from around the world. The topics are going to include disclosure of conspiracies, disclosure of everything. All of the truths from sacred geometry, our history, ET awareness, conspiracies, unconditional love, consciousness, free energy, teleportation, secret Mars program, self-empowerment, ET channeling, oneness, vibration and frequency, sound healing, quantum physics, resource-based economy, zeitgeist, and ascension. Now, this is going to be a very powerful event. There are going to be 3 people that all of you are aware. There's going to be much more than that you guys are aware. But the 3 in my scope and my field with the channeling community, one of them is going to be me, myself, and I. The other is going to be a very good friend of the show, Brad Johnson, and he's going to be channeling a dronist. And the third one is someone that most all of you have heard of, Daryl Anka, and he's going to be channeling Bashar. That will be this summer. Keep an eye out on trebchanneling.com, because as soon as I get the registration link and the information for that event, it will be on the top of my page at Treb Channeling. Also want to explain, too, that there is going to be another event in August, and I believe it's going to be mid-August to late August. This is going to be called the Channel Panel, and this is going to include myself. This is going to include Brad Johnson, our very own network friend, Daniel Scranton, and also Sean Swanson. They've all agreed to come on. I have one more person who says that she might just get on, just depending on when it is, so I'm trying to coordinate her, and then I can get a date pinned down. If I get her to come, it'll be a very big addition for our show. She's very interested in coming on. Also another channeler. And once we figure that out, I'll give her name out to you guys. It'll be a very exciting thing. So those are 2 events that are coming up this summer. I'm done with announcements because I get tired of doing announcements all the time. So what have we got, Philip? What's been going on that you've been seeing with people talking, people asking questions? What's the main question everyone's been asking lately?
Well, I'll tell you, last night we had our Consciousness Evolution local live meetup group here in Clarkson, Michigan. And, we had a pretty good turnout. It was I think we had 10 people last night, and it gets better as the weather gets warmer. But it's interesting because, it seems like almost every meeting, and we have them twice a month in that particular group, we get people who basically are just looking for spiritual answers, or it's something that interests them. And of course, I tell everyone there are no accidents when people show up to these meetings. It's no accident that they came. But oftentimes people are really coming from a place of not knowing anything about it. But what it tells me is that there is such an awareness coming about in the mass consciousness of people who are beginning to discover that there is more going on than meets the eye. And particularly, people are, and it brings fear to some people, and I do have a lot of people come in who are, they're feeling fear about the changes, fear about the things that they see going on in the world. And, by the time they leave, it's funny, for about the first half hour that I talk, they're like a deer in the headlights. I can see them out there. They're like, what is this guy talking about? But once we get past that and they start to get a feel of the energy, and whether they recognize it or not, they're getting that energy of this connection that we're all making. And, by the time they leave, they may not come back. And I always tell people come and go, to these meetings and to the groups and that type of thing, because sometimes you have to take what you've learned and you have to go live your life. You have to go out and see then what all this knowledge looks like when you put it into practice. And so sometimes people will pull back from the spiritual communities in order to just see what kind of experiences this is going to bring about for them in their own lives with the information that they've gotten so far. And then oftentimes, of course, people will come back eventually. It's like the full sponge. It can't take any more water until it gets squeezed out of it. So I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of awareness going on. How about you, Rob?
Well, absolutely. It's something that I've been noticing more so and more so. Just people coming out every corner, every nook and cranny, just coming out with things that people I've known for a long time, even people who aren't going down that same spiritual path. They're just waking up. They're seeing things in a more clear manner. And the people who are the ones who are already on that spiritual path, the profound information that comes from the conversations that we share is co-created in such a beautiful manner. I mean, it's very powerful to connect to someone when both of your heart's excitements is in the same area about your spiritual journey, about the path that you're on, and about things that help you expand. And like you said, too, people might come, people might go, but they always come back because it's that draw, that energy, that information, and that connection that keeps them coming back, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, the energy is so strong right now. I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it so strongly just being on with you. Lately for me, it's just been incredible. I feel like my heart is bursting, and the connections that people are making with each other over distances, these heart connections are you can't even put words to them. They're so beautiful, but the sense of making these connections with each other heart to heart is so strong, and the energy is just getting stronger and stronger, and it's a wonderful feeling to let that energy flow through you. And of course, what you and I are doing, Rob, is we're holding that energy for everybody. We've brought that energy into ourselves, and we're holding it, and we provide a reflection for people who are seeking this kind of knowledge and this kind of energy. And that high frequency energy that we're trying to hold here is very expansive, and so it ripples out from us in all directions and in all timelines, and it's just a beautiful thing for me to behold as it gets better and better and better.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's amazing, and I like that concept that you. I heard you explain that when I had you on my show the day before your very first show. How you talked about holding that space energetically. And I love that concept. In fact, since you said that, I've heard someone else say, I can't remember who it was, but when I heard that, I was just like, wow, it is so profound and so insightful to think of that concept of holding a space energetically and letting those people come to you, because that's the thing. I've been a part of a lot of spiritual groups even before I started channeling a lot of different communities. One community I found, inwardquest.com, one of the greatest places you can go and just they have forums, question and answer setups. It's a very beautiful place. And one time someone said, why do we leave Inward Quest? Why do we go and then we come back, and we go and we come back? And the answer was because each person comes there when they're spiritually, vibrationally fit to come. And that's what holding that energy is for. When you're holding that energy for other people, you're giving them the opportunity that if it excites them enough to vibrate on that level that you're holding it for, then they can co-create a beautiful experience with you. And that's what this show itself, this show here now, the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, has been about, and that's what this whole network's been about too. And that's why I'm glad, because we have some of the best callers, we have some of the best people who support our network, and we have some of the best, or the greatest team assembled, I believe, just in the 4 people who are actively involved now, and who are going through all of this network stuff right now. Is just the amount of brilliance and the amount of heart-centeredness is huge. And this connection from all of us, that co-creation, builds upon each other. And I can sit here and talk all day long. I could blow off everyone's ear in the whole world, and that wouldn't bother me. But when you're here and you're sharing that energy, this co-creation is 10 times better than I can do on my own, because the more people that join in, it's funny, there used to be the Bible quote, two or more people gathered here. I can't remember the exact scripture, but it's something to the effect, two or more people gathered, the more people that pray, the more God answers that. Well, that's true in a lot of ways. The more people that come in, the bigger the co-creation is, the more intent is there, and the more of a collective you're building. And that's why I just love it.
Yeah, that's absolutely. A quick story about the holding the energy. When I was first started off and first became aware of this information, I was fortunate enough to run into a person who was actually on the Abraham cruise, and she was a reader, but she was more than that. She was for lack of a better term, a psychic reader, but of course she had many talents besides that. And one of the things that she told me, we were just talking, and she said she knew me, and I was so green, Rob. I'm like, oh, you knew me, huh? I mean, past life or whatever. And she had said that she had known me in Atlantis, and that she told me I was a holder of the energy. And Rob, I had no idea what that meant. I asked her, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And she's just kind of like, you know what, you'll find out. You'll find out. And so fast forward, and it never really occurred to me until recently, in the last few months, it's like, yeah, it's holding the energy. That's what it is. It's bringing the energy down and holding it and grounding it into the earth, bringing this new energy down so that everything is shifting, and that's kind of my part in this. It's just amazing now to look back and see that she said that, and I'm, was completely clueless at the time, and it makes such perfect sense now.
Well, absolutely. Sorry about that. I try to mute it out, too, while you're talking, so any noise that comes in the background. But sometimes my wireless remote doesn't cooperate with me, so sorry about that. But absolutely. So did you ever find out more about that experience, that Atlantean previous life that you had, or any information on that?
I've had some... I've had intuitions over the years, but I'll tell you this about myself. I appreciate, and I, of course, completely understand and get flashes of intuition about past lives and other lives. But I just really don't focus on that stuff, Rob. I'm a non-traditionalist, and I guess to an extent it means I can feel the other aspects of me around me, and I can sense their energies, but I don't put names and places and faces on them. And I guess it's because I feel like what's going on right here, right now, in this moment is so important, and not only to me, but what we're doing here in this time frame, of course, in this now moment, is affecting all of our time frames. And, another thing that I discovered about myself, and this has some resonance with me, is that this incarnation of me, I am a final focus. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about final focus, and I'll just explain real briefly, but a final focus, if you take all of your simultaneous parallel incarnations, in other words, all of your past, future lives, of course there is only this moment, so all of those lives, even though from our standpoint they might appear to be in the past or in the future, all those timelines, once you get outside of this system, there's only the now moment, so everything is happening at the same time. So while I can sense these energies around me, the work that we're doing here in this shift, and then my work is a final focus, and the final focus basically just is the last physical incarnation of the Oversoul in that go-around, I guess. So And my job as a final focus is to kind of collect all the fragment, all of my parallel incarnations, with the understanding that basically all karma is fulfilled at this point. And when we leave this system, or leave physical incarnation, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be leaving this system. In fact, I think I've still got a lot to do here. But won't be incarnating physically once this life is complete. And so I'm kind of helping all of my different personalities bring their lives and their karmic contracts to a close. So while I don't identify them as specific this and that, the energy work that I'm doing here is a benefit to all of them. And so I've really kind of focused on that more than a specific past life, if you will. Does that make sense?
Well, that makes a ton of sense, and that's something beautiful that George reiterated on his last evening with us on the show, is that he came to that understanding so strongly and so deeply. He even had a vision during meditation about how he connected to those aspects, and literally looking at the way we see things right now. It's such a powerful thing to know that we are that life where all those previous ones culminate, that we are there for the benefit of. And once we're done with this life, that is a beautiful thought. I never really thought of it that way, to go back and assist all those portions of us that are still going through the trauma, because, you know, there is no real time. The way we experience time is way different than it really exists, especially in a non-physical existence. So it's a beautiful concept, and I really enjoy that fact. Now, for me, myself, I am the same way you are, and not a lot of people are. A lot of people who talk to Treb love the idea of their previous lives or their possible future incarnations, and that's perfect. You know, that's a very exciting thing for, you know, because I don't look into it a lot doesn't mean it's not exciting in general. I see how it excites people, but I'm the same with you. There's one life that came back to me very strongly, and I don't know why it was so strong, but I was sitting there watching TV, and I had this vision, and it was more than just a vision. It was truly like I was there. I could feel the wind blowing in my face. I could smell the burning. I could literally see everything. I felt the water splashing in my face while I was coming up on the boat. And this only happened in our time, probably 45 seconds worth of time, but it felt like it was 20 or 30 minutes long. And I remember coming back, and the vision I seen impacted me so deeply it made me cry. I still to this day don't know what that's completely about. When I had asked Treb said all that's accessible to him was the specific part that I seen. So basically everything I seen was all that he could perceive from that life too, and that's why I got it in full. But there's something there. That's the only time I've ever really cared deeply to go back into those past lives. I did find out information of several other past lives, but to me it wasn't that important either. I'm here now. My consciousness is focused in this reality at this point, at this time, for a reason, and it's something that's important. And that's a struggle with a lot of people who are going through the New Age experience or enlightenment of their own. They go through, and there's so many spiritual things that just excite everybody. Astral projection, doing all that. And that's great, because that's how I got my connection to Treb. That's how I enhanced my own self. But there came a certain point where I was doing that more than I was doing the day-to-day things. And that became imbalanced. I was almost addicted to that astral travel and the idea of meditation. So when I stepped back, I seen, hey, I'm missing out everything that I came here to experience because I'm only interested in that part of myself. So I found a balance, and finding that grounded balance and that high spiritual balance is a very difficult thing for a lot of people. But I think when you find that balance is when you truly can appreciate both things. A lot of people are so high into their spirituality that they hate the earth experience. They're like, well, I feel this way vibrationally. Everyone around me is mean. Everyone around me, it doesn't make sense why everyone's so horrible. And when they get into that higher spiritual part, it's difficult for them to become grounded and to appreciate the experience that they're here to have. So finding that balance is a very, very great concept and a very interesting idea.
Yeah, and it can be, it can be escapism just like anything else, just like drugs or anything else.
Absolutely.
Life is to live. We're here to live this life, to experience it fully, to completely feel all our emotions, including the ones that we don't like. Those are the things that fill us out, that make us complete beings that are then ready to move into the next realms. And it's great. It's wonderful that you had that. That was a beautiful experience that you had when you connected to that other aspect of yourself. The thing that I know about myself, probably the extent of it is, the major extent of it is, for those of you who are familiar with Seth and Elias's families of consciousness, my primary focus is ILDA, and that's spelled ILDA. I'm of the ILDA family. And of course there's no hard or fast rules, but it's more like it is truly a family of consciousness in intention and kind of what you're led to do. And the thing about the ILDA family is that the ILDA family are travelers. They are the ones who go from place to place, and going back in older times where, they would travel from land to land, spreading new ideas and learning about new things. And, I look at my life today and I go, man, that's what I'm all about is this expansion and learning new things and then spreading what I've learned to other people and being able to present it to them so that they can consider it in their own lives. So I've spent a lot of time on ships, Rob. A lot of time on ships, a lot of time on the water, going from place to place. And I've known that my whole life, but that all fits in perfectly with this family of consciousness that is basically the traveler, the spreader of information. And it certainly fits me today. At least it feels like it does.
I was going to say you're a bit of a pirate then, huh?
You bet. I got that tough side to me, matey.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's something too. It's amazing. Just thinking of all those things, spreading out that energy, spreading out that concept. Now, I see the time's ticking. We're getting very close to the time where we're going to connect to Treb. I would like to encourage anyone who has Treb, a question for Treb, please call in right now, area code 347-308-8788. We have a list of callers, so it's first come, first serve. The sooner you call, the sooner you'll get in the queue. When the message comes to listen or to join the host queue, you hit 1 on your phone, and that'll put you in the host queue. We've already got a few callers, so please, if you're interested in doing that, go ahead and do that. I'm going to be getting set up here in a few minutes after I'm done with talking for another couple minutes, and then we'll get set up to start that too. Now, in your experience so far, I know you've only had one show so far, and in that one show, dealing with people calling in, was there any deep insights that you gained from in the moment? Because I realized that when you were in that moment, you were connecting, much as channelers do, you were connecting from that higher self spot. I felt it, I heard it, I knew it. Was there any insights that you gained that you previously didn't have gained in that show time?
Yes, there was, and this is what I'm seeing both in the live meetup groups and certainly brought to me in the callers on my show, and also what I'm finding on Facebook is people who are searching, people who are looking for this reflection of a better answer for themselves, and who feel very alone, very isolated, because maybe they were in a family situation, or maybe they were in a work situation, or whoever the immediate people are who are around them in their lives these people are coming into this information and coming into understandings on their own, privately. And, you know, I always talk about the public face and the private face of people, and people have a public face that they show everybody, but I always feel that in people's private thoughts, private life, private face, that people are so much more willing to look at things that are unreasonable, we'll say that, or that don't fit in with the tried and true, don't fit in with tradition. And so I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but these people who are coming to us are feeling very isolated because they don't feel like they have any peers that they can discuss this stuff with. And so when they find us, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on the local meetup group where we meet live, or whether it's the callers that are calling in, these people are looking for this connection. And it's so gratifying to be able to give them a sense of belonging, to help them feel like they're not alone in the world, because I think that's a lot of people get to this point and they just feel so alone. And it's so nice to be able to, you know, wave that beacon in the air and say, here we are, you know, you got lots of friends here, so don't feel like you don't have anyone to talk to.
Absolutely. That's beautifully said too. And that's the great thing too about the internet that I've seen, the collective consciousness for the openness of being able to go out and meet people who are in the same interest with metaphysics, spirituality, or even religion. You know, if you're Christian, Islamic, Jewish, Hindu, any of those things you can find more of online. Facebook groups have been amazing to me. I'm lucky in that way, and I know I say this all the time, but I have people who come to me for, you know, because of the work I do with Treb. They're all connecting to me about things, so I'm lucky, but a lot of people don't have that. So I encourage you guys, if you guys go into Facebook and type in, you know, like if you join 4 or 5 groups, there's a bunch of them like Portal to Ascension, your page, any of those things, then you can instantly go ahead and you can add groups, and then every group that you join that's similar in interest, more groups will be suggested to you. And if you type in code words like metaphysics or anything that you're interested in, you can find those, and it makes it so much easier to connect outwardly. But in all reality, as hard as you can try, when you're truly ready to connect to those kind of people, you will connect no matter what, whether you're meeting them at a bus stop or whether you're meeting them at a train station or meeting them in an alley behind a building. When that time is ready for you really to need that in your life, you'll find it. But the internet does assist you very greatly on those.
It does. It does. And, yeah, and you can make those connections everywhere, and it's so gratifying, you know, to feel heart connections with people in the grocery store or the mail person or, you know, your neighbors or whoever. You know, you can see it in people's eyes. Of course, you see people who are kind of, you know, distracted and, you know, whatever, and we all know those people. But then you run into that person who you may not know, but when you lay eyes upon them and they lay eyes upon you, there's an instant recognition, and that's so much fun. I just love that.
Well, that's just as profound, if not more, than any in-depth conversation you can have with someone. I know a great man, a very dear person to me, was talking, and he was talking about how one time he was connected at this place, and he was going to order some food. And he said that the person who served him this food, normally he's very, very aware of energy and people and energy and the way, like fast food is not just negative for your body because the food's bad, but the energy of the server, the energy of the people who are making the raw chemicals, all those things are negative energy. But he said this person was at this health food store and made this salad. He said it was the best salad that he ever ate because the person behind the counter was so intensely happy and so joyous and so thrilled to be there in that moment that love that person felt was directly put into that food, along with the high vibration of natural food to start with. So it was just, he said that every bite reminded him of the love of that person. And when we can experience our life in that way, where everything, every little thing can be felt with huge amounts of love, all the way to the obscurity of things that happen every once in a great while, anything that we can find to pull out of our experience that feels good to us, it can instantly be set to work and can be as profound or more profound as any deep conversation or any chat with Treb or any chat with your best friend. I mean, little things.
You bet it is, and it is the little things. It's not the big things. You know, the big things are obvious, but it's the little things when you can start appreciating the small things, things that you may have in the past taken for granted, or you may have just thought of them as a coincidence. But once you start to recognize those as the universe, you know, smiling and knocking and waving hello and saying, hey, you like this? Well, I got more of that over here. And you like that? Well, come over here then. And when you start getting it, you get in that on a roll, man, and it just builds on itself, and it builds on itself, and the more you can feel that energy as you're going through your day and allow that energy in, it gets better and better. And because the energy learns too. It's not just you that's learning, it's the energy that's learning how to best serve you. So when you start seeing as a partner and you start working with the energy and allowing it to work through you, I can't even begin to describe the wonder that awaits everybody who is going through this process and is discovering more and more of themselves, because it just gets more and more beautiful all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's a beautiful point too. You know, the energy in itself is so profound, and the ascension, whatever anyone calls that energy that we're going through in the transformation, adds layers upon layers of things that are added on to those normal things, and it just makes it that much more glorious. Now, what we're going to do real quick, the time is there. We got about an hour and 10 minutes left of airtime to possibly use up. What we're going to do is I'm going to start neutralizing my energy. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know if Philip, you wanted to talk to anyone about anything while I'm doing that.
Sure, I'll give them a little prep. How's
that? That's perfect. And I'm going to neutralize. And for those of you who aren't aware, when I connect to Treb, there's a little process that I go through. I take my neutralizing time, which takes 3 to 5 minutes. After that, there's 3-step process connection. The first step is just deep breathing. That gets me in the beyond 21 state. The second step is the oming or resonant tuning. That's the loud oming sound that you hear me in the throat singing technique. A lot like people compare it to the Buddhist monk throat singing. And then the last step is dragon breathing, really fast breathing that brings Treb in. And when Treb comes in, it takes him a minute or so to settle in. So be aware the throat singing resonant tuning is very loud. If you have headphones on, you might want to turn it down at that point and then turn it back up when it's over. But I am going to leave you guys in Philip's capable hands while I neutralize myself. And as soon as I'm done, I'll clear my throat and let you know. That way I won't interrupt you in midstream of talking, but you'll know I'm back.
Talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Thank you, brother. I love you.
I love you too. Okay, so while we're waiting for Rob to bring Treb in, I'll just encourage you to just take a deep breath and relax and open up your hearts and your minds. Open up your crown chakra. Allow the energy to flow through you. Feel the energy. Feel the energy of Rob and the show. Feel the energy of Treb. We're all friends here. We're all partners in that sense. And in another sense, we're all one. So we get to share this energy with each other. And you can also open up your imagination, We're all so used to using our reasoning mind and reasoning everything out and looking for reasonable explanations. And what I want to encourage you to do now is allow your imagination to take over. Consider the possibilities of other worlds and other realms and other beings. Beings from other dimensions, beings from other planetary systems, beings from other realms, who all want to connect to us. They're just waiting for us. There is no assertion in this world. So open up your imagination. Imagine what you thought was impossible. Imagine the beauty that is in everything. Open up your hearts. View the world with love and compassion. We're all one, all connected. Feel the energy. Allow it to flow through you into the earth. Ground that energy into the earth. Know that it is you and you are it. And you are the universe having a physical experience. Now we'll just go quiet now until Treb comes on. If you have questions for Treb, the call-in number is 347-308-8788. You're welcome to call in now, and we'll be taking calls shortly. Treb will be along any moment now. I notice when the energy flows through me, I tend to rock in my seat. Sometimes I like to work the energy with my arms and hands, shape it, bring it into me, provide a place for it to go. It's like playing with Play-Doh, except it's easier to manipulate, and it feels so good. Allow yourself to feel the energy. Let it go into your heart and fill it with love. Are you there, Treb?
No, it's me. I'm going to start connecting to Treb. I wanted to unmute the mic. I'm going to start my resonant tuning and breathing. I'm already neutralized, though.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll get started. And thank you, Philip, for filling in tonight. I appreciate it more than you know.
You're very welcome.
All right, everyone. We'll see you on the other side.
See you there.
And I love you, too. And to also thank you, Kalina, for being on technical assistance and trying to help out, too. So thank you guys all for co-creating this. And we'll see you on the other side.
See ya. Feel the energy of the toning and the breathing. I hear whales and water. Such delightful energy.
Good evening, Philip.
Good evening, Treb. How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. And how are you doing this evening?
I just am so thrilled and excited to be here to talk to you tonight. I'm having a wonderful evening.
Yes, and I am having a very wonderful evening as well. I also wish to say hello to you, Kalina, as well as all entities who have chose to connect to share this experience tonight.
Hi, Treb.
Yes. I know that many of you have many questions. If there is any question that you have now that you wish to ask, you may do this now.
Yes, Treb, I do have a question for you. Were you working with me last night in my dreams, or was I working with you and Rob? Because I woke up this morning and had a distinct impression. Rob was the first thing that popped into my mind, and I just had this distinct, I was trying to remember how I had translated the dream, but I couldn't quite get back to it. I could get to the feeling of it, but I had this distinct impression of being with you and Rob last night. Is there anything to that?
Yes! There is a lot to this. This idea is your own self co-creating an experience with myself as well as the host. In the dream state, there is much work that needs to be done, if you will, as you are very aware of. And in this work that you are having, you are trying to figure out a specific problem in your subconscious self, and this is brought out into the sleep state. And in this sleep state, you are connecting to myself as well as the host to try to overcome this one concept. I cannot express the specific concept that is being worked upon, otherwise there is not enough work for you to do in your own self.
Thank you, Treb. It's good to know. I felt like I made very good progress last night, and whatever it was, I just had this very positive feeling about it when I woke up. And it did feel like I had been working on something, but it felt like the great progress was made in it.
Yes, there is much progress that has been made and that is being made within this concept. It is a very joyous experience with many entities that are upon Earth now, are connecting to me in their own sleep state as well as meditative states.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Treb. And I did want to ask you, for all of the listeners, if there is any one particular thing that is foremost in your feelings and your thoughts about what's going on the Earth at this point in time, at this particular moment in time, with the energy and with the shift. Is there something that you would like to share with all of us?
Yes! There are many things that are going on in the collective consciousness of your own planet. The very first and most important to the collective consciousness is the transformation that you have been going through. You have been going through this transformation for a long period of time, more than 9 3/4 of a year in your terms, in your time. And in this transformation, the precipice has occurred upon the area of the end of 2012. And as this precipice is now overcome, now that it is passed beyond this time point, you are now starting to see several different waves, integration of consciousness from each one of your own individual higher selves, or oversouls, if you will, and also with each other. And in this collective consciousness that we're growing, there are many patterns and waves of energy that are being expressed from the collective consciousness of the solar system, but more so within your own planetary Earth consciousness. The seventh density entity that you know as Mother Earth is assisting all of you in your own personal journey, because all of you placed together in the amount of consciousness is the sum of this oversoul. And as this oversoul is growing and connecting to each of you, each one of you are playing out your own personal concepts, your own personal issues, your own personal dramas, if you will. And within these dramas, there are many lessons to be learned. All of you are very aware of the resistance that humanity has in whole of connecting to themselves on a higher degree. And as these resistances are let go of, you will now begin to see yourself manifesting more quickly. It has been expressed throughout this entire period that from the end of last year until the beginning of this, it has been a very difficult time for all of you. It has been the time in which consciousness mandates that you must face your belief systems. And as you face the belief systems that no longer fit you, that no longer serve you, that tend to restrict you or lessen your ability to connect yourself, these are bringing out to the front of this time. And as you look at these and as you inspect all of these concepts, and as you begin to integrate your own happiness and desires and excitement into your existence, the resistance is being let go of. But many of you are becoming fearful in this time because change is coming very quickly. You do not believe that change should come as quickly. So then you begin to grab back a hold of the old beliefs that you once have started to release, and this is not serving you either. So what is suggested in this time of balancing yourself from the third to fourth entity consistently backwards and forwards to try to understand that if you are able to find your excitement, and if you have already found your excitement, to grab hold of this with both hands, your feet will never drag upon the ground. You will always be set forward in perpetual motion, as dictates the energy of the collective consciousness.
I love that explanation, Treb. That was absolutely wonderful, and it's so been my experience. You know, I'm aware of the spiritual speaker Elias, and maybe you are familiar with them as well. But they talk about these periods that we're going through as waves. And according to Elias, what we're going through right now that is actually coming to a close is the religious wave. And we're about to enter a new wave called the scientific wave. And so what you just told us as to how we're looking at our belief systems and seeing the chinks in the armor, if you will, and starting to look at what new answers might be more valuable to us, that made perfect sense with what I see going on around me. That was a wonderful explanation.
Yes, and it is a very wonderful explanation that you've expressed as well. It is a wonderful explanation, but also expression of what Earth in a collective way is doing. You are assisting the connection to other planets within the solar system, ones that are perhaps less evolved than the Earth collective consciousness. And as you are doing this, you are also assisting the growth of all entities upon your solar system, which in turn helps create greater assistance to all entities in the galaxy. And this continues to perpetuate itself upward in the level of consciousness into the entire universe.
The ripples go out forever, don't they, Treb?
Yes!
And what you also said about how people feel inside them this change that's coming, and it's coming very, very rapidly. And many people have kind of had to take a step back because they're not comfortable handling this new high frequency energy that's coming in. And I do see around me, even in the spiritual groups of people who have been at this for years and years, who are, there's a little bit of fear there. There's a little bit of wow, this is going so fast, and so yeah, I do see a lot of that reaching back for things that they had let go of previously. But then I also have a great trust and faith that it's all going to work out. Of course, it's all meant to work out. The universe operates with good intention, and that all of this is to be expected because of this process that we're going through.
Yes, you are very correct in this. All is being as all should be.
Wonderful. So, Treb, would you like to take our first caller now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Treb. It was very nice talking to you, and let's see who we have on the line. Okay, we have the... this is the 859 area code. Who do we have on the line with us tonight?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Who are we speaking with?
My name is Yolanda.
Yolanda, very nice that you called in. And did you have a question for Treb, Yolanda?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Yes, I do. Okay. Hi, Treb.
Hello, Elaine.
How are you?
I am doing very well, and how are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing better. Actually, my question to you is about very drastic physical changes that I experienced last couple weeks. A lot of exhaustion, physical exhaustion, 2 emergency room visits, heart rates, ups and downs, and blood pressure and all that stuff. So I would like you very much to examine my energy on whatever level you seem to be appropriate, and see if I have any maybe huge consciousness shift, because we can't really come up with any explanation for all this bodily happenings, and see if there's anything goes on with my energy that would contribute to that what I'm experiencing physically.
Yes! As you are aware, I would need your permission to connect you energetically. So if you are able to close your physical eyes, to place the energy that is in the center of your body, to push it out the side of the physical body, and to place your intent for my own self to connect to this. In one moment, I will connect you.
Okay.
Yes! One moment, please. Yes! As you are aware, when I am able to connect your energy, I am not able to see specifically your own physicality of your own self. The amount of consciousness that is given to the host is given in a very small amount compared to the overall consciousness. So when I am able to connect to the host, I am able to perceive your energetic layers. And as you have several thousand energetic layers, I am able to perceive in a timeline in which you have caught the last 2-week area. And in this last 2-week area, there has been a great amount of consciousness change. This is partially to do with the collective consciousness change, but more so within the resistance in your own self. The concept of the idea that in your throat chakra area and in your third eye area, you are beginning to have blockages that tighten up the energy and restrict the flow from your own energetic self to the rest of the physical body. And also, it becomes expanded very large. So it is blocked and unblocked and blocked and unblocked. And this is playing out into a manifestation of all of these physical symptoms. As simple as this seems, it does not appear to be something that usually connects to humans in a way that gives such a drastic change. But what is suggested to overcome these concepts is if you are able to drink large amounts of water, distilled in preference to keep the electricity flowing, no restricted flow in electricity in this distilled water, and also to make sure that you are eating foods that are coming from the area of the blue and indigo. So it would be a blue and a purple-blue color of foods. This will help energetically as a symbolism or a permission slip to help open the areas of these. But also, when you begin to have difficulties speaking what is on your heart, when you begin to have difficulties tapping into your own self in the ways of wisdom and knowledge, this will be very beneficial to you to remove these concepts, to remove this restriction. When you see yourself judging yourself in any way, when you see an experience that you have as a negative concept, try to remove this as a negative perception. This will help allow the energy flow, and once the energy is less restricted within your own body, becomes more even keeled, then you will find a sustainability of energy in the physical body.
Okay. Thank you very much. I have a little follow-up to that. So besides this self-worth, I guess, concept, be less judgmental towards self, is any other reasons that you see that I would have so much resistance in the sense that it will produce so much physical havoc, let's say. Any other issues that I should pay attention to?
Yes, to speak what is upon your heart. There is often times when you are trying to communicate to entities, whether it be a simple interaction of 3 to 5 words, or whether it is a great extended conversation. There is always a lack of willingness in your own mind to express exactly what is within the heart area. And if you are able to express things in a more fulfilled manner, to tell them what is within your heart, without worry of judgment upon what you will say, without worry upon judgment on what you believe they will say, all of these things being removed, expressing what is on the heart will help clear the throat chakra area. The concept of non-judgment upon your own self, but as well as the information that you receive, will help within the third eye area.
That's great, Treb. Did that help you out, Yolanda? All right. Well, thank you very much for your call, Yolanda. We appreciate it. And we will move on to the next caller. Oh, before we do that, Treb, I do have a quick question for you, a follow-up.
Yes!
I was trying to think when you said blue and purple blue foods, I was trying to think of one, and I can't think of even one. Do you have some examples of that?
The color that you consider blue, in my own knowledge base, there is only one concept that comes to this mind. It is the blueberry that you have, and the blue-purple color is a grape.
Ah, both fruits I love. Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes!
All right, well, let's move on to the next caller. We are, let's see, this is the 816 area code. Who do we have on with us tonight?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi there. Philip here.
Hi. What's your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Philip.
Oh, another Philip. How nice is that?
Yeah.
And you have a question for Treb. Please proceed.
I do. Hi, Treb.
Hello, Philip, as well.
My question is related to, I've been experiencing a good level of synchronicities and kind of psychic moments. I'm very aware of I guess I'm not aware of what they mean. I'm very aware of them, and I appreciate when they happen. And what I'm wondering is, am I supposed to act on something when I have those experiences, or are they in and of themselves a sign that I'm moving in the right direction?
Yes! All synchronicities are showing you your excitements being laid out in front of you. These synchronicities are showing you that the path that you are taking is that of the least resistance. This is never a bad sign. All synchronicities are showing you is that in your excitement, acting upon them, thinking upon them, acting upon all things in your own existence without resistance is positively affecting you in the ways of synchronicity. So this is a very positive concept. I also wish to share with you a concept that is based in the humor idea from the host mind. Whenever he is confronted with another entity whose name is matching his to a preciseness or an exactness, there is always an expression that the host uses that I believe you might find to be entertaining. This would be two Phillips do not make a right.
That was great.
Yes!
I love it, Treb.
Great indeed.
I got a new Facebook post. Thanks a lot, Trev. I've got one other quick question, and this one is relating to my son. I've got a child who's 6 years old, almost 7, and he's diagnosed with autism. And he currently doesn't live in the same state as me, but I guess it's just a general question about, I feel such a close connection with my son, and he's very unique. being, and I'm just kind of asking a general question about our relationship and maybe any insight you could have for me into my relationship with my son. His name is Luca.
Yes! In the normality of the ways that I interpret concepts and the way that I express my own information that is being shared, I will not often speak of an entity unless the permission has been shared to give connection or availability for my connection to this entity. But in this situation, there is a slight difference. There is a connection that I am able to feel as this entity's energy is touching your own energy. And as I experience the touching of your energy, this is very extreme energy connection. This is one in which lives have been shared several times. And the way that this entity is introduced into reality in the way of perhaps autism or a connection to the autism concept, this idea is very purposeful for this entity. The entity that you call your son is intending to have a very specific interaction with this Earth collective consciousness and also within your own self. So what I wish to express about this connection is that this connection has been very deep and very long-lasting, but also that the more connection that you are able to make to this entity, the more that both of your existences will be increased greatly.
Wow.
Wonderful answer. Did that help, Philip?
That was beautiful. I've got goosebumps. So thank you guys, and thank you, Treb. I love you. I'm going to enjoy listening to the rest of the show. Thanks a lot.
Yes, I love you as well.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That was a tremendous answer. And Treb, Rob has some experience with those similar circumstances, does he not?
Yes. The host's son is coming in with a very similar condition. Even though it is not similar in the way that your doctors will perceive this, energetically it is very similar. It is an entity giving away specific attributes of its own consciousness that is considered normal by the collective in order to have a very specific experience. Let us give an example with the host son. The host son has a condition that you would know to be cerebral palsy, and in this condition, there is many things that have been taken away from this entity, as most humans would see this. He is not able to walk or to speak. He is not able to communicate or to move a very great distance. And he is of the age that is approximately almost 15. Now, if you look at this, this is not normal for a 15-year-old of the average collective consciousness to not be able to speak and to walk. So as you compare this, you would say, why is it that an entity would incarnate to such an experience, one that most humans perceive to be very limiting? In fact, this is not limiting. In fact, this entity has came to experience an existence in where he does not have to use his physicality. In his previous incarnations, there has been many lives as a warrior, many lives as a labor worker, and also a few lives where the scientific mind is placed in a very high priority. In fact, in one existence, the host son was considered one of the smartest entities on the earth in his time. So as he has explored the concepts of physicality, of fighting, of war, of labor, and of great, strong mental prowesses, now he is able to explore his condition of emotional prowesses, of his loving prowesses. And these loving prowesses that he has now, in the host mind and seeing this entity in the way that he is capable of loving, he does not need physicality. He is all emotional based. And this is the experience that he has, and this is the experience he wished to explore. And this is very accepted by the host. When the host first had his son, this was not very well accepted. But once he was able to comprehend that this was his son's own choice, and that this is the experience and that he needed, it was very accepted. And many entities are coming into your existence with the same concepts. Autism is at a very high point, and this is because these experiences of emotional-based living, or connecting from heart to heart, or connecting to any perhaps limited way, as most students see this experience, is needed.
Thank you very much for that explanation, Treb. That jives very, very well with my understanding from reading Seth that, Seth talks about in earlier civilizations that lived on the earth. In fact, some of the earliest forms of human that lived upon the earth, Seth called them the dreamwalkers or sleepwalkers. And it was interesting because their dream state was actually their waking state, and their waking state is what they considered their dream state. And so I kind of correlate this, some of these entities that are entering our system with this particular intention are exploring that aspect of life once again. And I think we're starting to get a better understanding of the truth in that.
Yes, this is a very great explanation for this concept.
Thank you, Treb. I appreciate it very much, and thank you for sharing the information about Rob and his son. That was very nice.
Yes, it is something that the host wished to share, so it was available for me to connect to you.
Very nice. Okay, well, we're going to take our next caller, Treb, and this is the 239 area code. Hello, you're on. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, my name is Alex. Can you hear me?
Hi, one more time. I'm sorry.
I said, hi, my name is Alex.
Oh, hi, Alex. Thanks for calling in tonight. You have a question for Treb?
Yeah, you're very welcome. I appreciate the show. So I was waiting, and I'm very excited about tonight. Hello, Treb. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, Alex. And how are you this evening?
I feel phenomenal, Treb. Better than I have in a long while. So I actually would like to just delve right into my questions for you. I would be very interested on your perspective having to do with a new sort of calendar that I'm working on that has a lot to do with, instead of the Gregorian calendar, which is affixed mainly to a Roman count of time, I'm sort of perceiving now a better way of doing things that is more in keeping with the moon cycles and the quarters of the moon, and to break that down into segments and 4 quarters of a moon, or the 4 quarters of a moon cycle would be a month, and so on and so forth. And I'm just interested to know whether or not that a new calendar would help the mass collective, or at least a select few, attune better to a more organic way of living, a more organic sequence of keeping with our more galactic aligned selves.
Yes, this is a very great point that you have brought upon us. In the way of Earth and their ability to connect to time, they have taken away the natural time setting and given a man-made time system. This has affected many entities in the way that they perceive time. If you are able to base another system that is more set into the natural settings, this can help achieve many things. It is the concept of what you believe and what you integrate into your own self that will change things. But if you are able to integrate an idea into the collective of this nature, it will help assist people in the way of understanding, comprehending, but also experiencing time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that response, because actually I'm very interested in it, because I'm interested in uniting a lot of people, anyone who is interested. And more or less, I find that it's a highly significant idea that I have, because it would, at least on one day of the week of this calendar, unite all people in a Sabbath day. it seems to fit more seamlessly into the working of things. So I'm glad to hear your response. Thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you for the question as well.
Thank you, Alex. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I could just get one more question in, I would like to ask you, Treb, what is, perhaps if you could connect to my energy, I would appreciate that. I have a question about lights that I'm beginning to see. And actually, I've brought up the question of seeing lights to you once before, blue lights, that you explained to me to be a side effect of a implant, a non-physical fifth-dimensional energetic implant in the back of my neck. And that was a great answer. I appreciated that very much. But now I have a question about, they seem to be, these lights, they seem to be like someone's taking a needle, the tip of a needle, like a white-hot needle, and just scraping it across my reality. And it's resulting in very vibrant rainbow streaks, almost like you punch a glass window and the cracks are just fluorescent rainbow lines. And they happen sort of infrequently, but along with those sorts of lights, I also see little vibrant dots of like white, red, just all sorts of colors, I think. But I'm seeing them more and more frequently.
Yes, what you are experiencing is not the same as the previous time that we have spoken, but this is a new concept altogether. In your exploration of consciousness, in your ability to connect more deeply to your own self, to your own heart, to your own mind, you are expanding the third eye and crown chakra area. And as you expand the third eye and crown chakra area, you begin to experience more of the fourth density version, more of the fourth density excitement. And when you are perceiving fourth density and the experience within the fourth density, you will be able to experience this in multiple ways. One of them is the representation of a full vibrational setting, which most of you would perceive as a rainbow.
Oh, wow. That's phenomenal to hear. Thank you very much. And the last thing I will bring up before I let other callers have the opportunity to speak with you is one idea that I felt like sharing with the host, Rob, tonight, but I'm not sure I'll get that opportunity after you disconnect from him. So I'd like to say it to you, and it's having to do mostly and in part with the cannabis plant as we know it here on Earth, and the cannabis concentrate from the plant itself is a resin that is that has tetrahydrocannabinol and a few other psychoactive cannabinoids, as science refers to them as, and these are highly beneficial in treating autism and people with cerebral palsy, people who suffer from countless seizures every day, all day even. And so I would just like to bring that into the awareness of Rob, and perhaps if you could give him a perspective, or if he is interested in consulting with you about that privately. I think it would be a great benefit to his son. So I had to express that because it was weighing heavily on me, and I'd be happy if he would to look into that at all. I would even be happy to give any information that I could and my perspective on it, as I have experienced those concentrates myself and their healing properties.
Yes, this has been something that the host has looked into as far as conceptually and has seen great benefits as well. So this idea has been expressed, and he is often very open to information and any concept. So if you wish to share this with him, you may directly share whatever information that will be the most beneficial. He is in a great understanding in how I am perceiving this idea, that all things that are within your own self are able to manifest outwardly. And if you are having a physical illness, to change the inside of your own self will help. But when it comes to others' medical conditions, they must experience what they must experience. So in this way, if you were asking my own perception on the host helping his son, anything that the host believes that he must do is one concept. But if he wishes to change something in the overall concept of his own son, it will never be a beneficial concept. It will only be beneficial to accept the illness in this entity and to assist him in any way possible. And this is one means of assistance. Thank you very much for connecting me to this idea.
Yes, thank you. I'm in such appreciation of getting this opportunity to speak with you. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. And I love your energy. Anytime I hear this kind of energy coming from people who are excited about what they're doing and enjoying life, it's absolute music to my ears. Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
I wish to express to you also, Philip, that in the host mind he is expressing that the time that is left in the 15-minute area is the appropriate time for him to disconnect from me.
Very well, Treb. Then we will say goodbye to you for this evening, and thank you very much for all of your wonderful information. It was a pleasure speaking to you tonight.
Yes, it is very exciting for me to speak to all of you and to be able to connect to all of you and to show you the reflections of your own self that one time have not been able to be connected to. With this idea being expressed, I will leave you all this evening in love and in light, and we will experience each other again very soon.
Thank you very much, Treb, and good night to you.
Yes, good night. How'd it go?
Fabulous.
Okay.
Wonderful information. Just wonderful. And Treb's energy was so beautiful tonight.
All right. Give me one more second so I can get a couple more drinks of water, and I'll join you right back.
Take your time.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Sure thing. Well, that was very interesting, and I can't help but pipe in about cannabis, about the benefits of cannabis in so many ways, and the preponderance of options that are now available. I know here in Michigan there are dispensaries all over, and the types of products that are available now, it's not the smoking weed of our youth, as some might remember it. It is a whole different ball game, and there are products that are doing amazing things for people medically. I know a lot of people think, oh, medical marijuana, big joke. Fact is that this is helping so many people in so many ways, and this is something that even 10 years ago, the mass consciousness, while it was being talked about, this is something that personally I couldn't imagine us being in the place that we are today with this. And this is something that's come about through the mass consciousness. And I know that that's the case because it almost happened overnight. This has almost changed overnight. And I do encourage you to look into the benefits of marijuana and cannabis products. And if you are excited by that, or if you find that using them as a permission slip may be of benefit to you, and also that of the actual medical benefits of these various cannabis products. So I just thought I'd throw that in there since it came out anyway.
I think that's a very valid point too, Philip. A lot of things, a lot of people kind of shut down certain ideas just because they're not conventional or not normal or not something that they feel right about. But there are so many things out there right now. Natural things are obviously better things for you when it comes to it. And so I think the level of awareness people have who listen to the show are more open to things that once in their earlier life they weren't open to, and that really opens the door for a lot of a lot of healing in a natural way or in a
holistic way.
My brain's on blank while I'm going.
That's okay.
Thank you. Holistic way. Thank you.
Sure. Along that lines, I've become aware there is a huge, they call it a 420 ceremony that's going on in Denver, and I want to say, I have to go back and look at the calendar. I want to say it's June, but it might even be sooner than that. But this is a huge gathering that is, they say it is cannabis friendly. I'm doing the finger quote thing, and but it's more than just again our traditional thoughts around marijuana. This is marijuana is being used metaphysically and spiritually to allow people. It provides a very good connection, if you want to use it as such, as a permission slip, a very good connection to the template level of creation. And people hear me say template level and say, well, what is that? And different spiritual teachers have different names for it. I know Seth calls it Framework 2. Abraham calls it the Vortex. Various teachers call it different things. But it's basically the place where much of the work of creation is done. Because as you know, everything physical has to first appear in non-physical before and be developed there before it ever becomes physical. Everything in our physical world exists in non-physical first, and so this is that template level or template dimension where we go in our dream state, and this is where our thoughts and intentions and the thoughts and intentions of the mass consciousness of the world and of the other entities that are involved. It's like a meeting place, and a lot of very meaningful work is done at this level of consciousness, and much of that is this creation process of things that are created and imagined and gather energy before they actually appear in physical reality. So marijuana can be a very good, Bashar talks about it often, be a very good permission slip to allow you to explore that aspect of creation.
Well, absolutely, Philip, and that's a beautiful point. A lot of people, have used it for meditation. A lot of people have used it for a lot of different things, and when that energy gets explored, it's a very profound energy for some, and some people it doesn't resonate with. But that's everything, Some things are good for some, not for others. That big 420 event you're talking about, I remember when I was in my young 20s. They had an event in Michigan by this place called Rainbow Farms, and that event was actually held on April 20th, hence the date 420 on 420. So I remember that was actually a very big thing in Michigan. The people from all over the country came to that thing.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, this weekend's the Hash Bash in Ann Arbor. The Hash Bash has been going on since I was a teenager, and I don't even want to tell you how long ago that was. But, we used to go down every year because, if you think about it, Ann Arbor, Michigan, it's probably been 20, 30 years that possession of marijuana was a simple misdemeanor. It was like a $5 or $20 ticket or something like that. And that it's been like that forever. But we used to go down to the Hash Bash every single year in Ann Arbor, and it was an absolute riot. What a great thing. And there were always so much going on in Ann Arbor anyway. But, that's... it's funny to see everything circle around. As I get older, it kind of circles around, and all of a sudden, it's just widely accepted. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I do enjoy that part.
Well, absolutely, and that's something when I was younger I explored, and marijuana was something I think all of us explored in when I was younger. But when I met Treb about 5 years ago, he said something that was very profound to me. And it made me decide that I didn't need to experience that anymore. He said that any experience you find, whether it's in pot, whether it's in LSD, whether it's in ayahuasca, no matter what those hallucinogenics or the marijuana is, that any of those experiences you can find in yourself through meditation or through yourself in daily living. And when he said that, that was a very deep and profound thing, and it really made a lot of sense to me. And once he said that, I didn't feel that need to get myself relaxed with pot like I did at that time. You know, I used to use it as a meditational tool, and I didn't. I don't think it's a bad thing to use. A lot of people in this world use it, and I think it can be a useful tool for people, especially when they're dealing with pain or anything as a medicine or as a inhibiting tool to kind of get into that part of meditation. So I think that's great. There's definitely no judgment. Most people I know do use it as a tool of medicine or a tool of meditation now to this day too, but it's just nice to know some people can't. They can't do it because of health. They can't do it because of allergies. They might be in systems, works where they're taking drug tests all the time. So just to let you know, if you can't do it but you want that effect, you can always find that within.
Absolutely. And, you know, Bashar talks about that because everything is a teacher, as you know, Rob. Everything in this world is a teacher. It's a reflection back to us. And, you know, anytime you use something like that as a permission slip, marijuana or ayahuasca or LSD, as you mentioned, the idea is not to use it to go there and then use it as a crutch to get back to that place. The idea is to go there and learn what that frequency is so that you can then reach that frequency, so that once you recognize the frequency, then you can bring yourself back to that without the use of a permission slip. And this is just of course it's a personal choice, but it is something to think about because, as you said, there are a lot of compelling reasons why people don't want to or can't take advantage of some of these permission slips. So it is important to know that all of these frequencies exist inside you. They're all accessible to you. And once you get a feeling for that frequency, once you get a feeling for that place that this is taught you, then you go inside and use your imagination and use your inner senses to find that frequency, regardless of whether you're using a permission slip or not.
Well, absolutely, brother, and that's a beautiful point. Unfortunately, guys, we've only got a few minutes left in the evening, so we're going to be calling our night here for a minute. But before we do, I want to remind you guys about a few things. The first thing is the network that we're on, the Enlightenment Evolution Network. It's a beautiful, beautiful network. I told you guys all about the network, but just a quick reminder of what we have on this network coming up here. Monday, you guys can get a hold of Daniel Scranton. He'll be here. Heart to Heart Talk Radio with Daniel Scranton at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. You can call in to all of our shows, share one phone number, which is a really great thing. You can call into each one of our shows at area code 347-308-8788. On Tuesday night, Tuesday night's slot is empty at this time. Wednesday night, you come here, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. And I'll be here. You know what the show's about. You guys know what's going on. Thursday, you can join Philip Malika, who's been with us all evening and done a wonderful job in co-creating this experience, brother. And I love you so much, and thank you so much for being here. And that's Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time.
Yeah, I love you too. And we're going to have Allison Hamilton on tomorrow night, who will be open channeling for us and taking phone calls and answering questions. We're going to have a wonderful discussion, and then we'll be taking calls after that.
Oh, and that's beautiful, and thank you too, brother. And Friday night, coming soon, will be the Earth Experience with Kalina Angel. If you guys have enjoyed what you've heard tonight, if you enjoy any of the shows on the Enlightenment Evolution Network, you can always donate at the links to each individual show. Philip's got one, Daniel's got one, I've got one, Kalina will have one. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, you can always donate at trebchanneling.com. There's a link there. or you can go to trebchanneling@gmail.com through PayPal and donate. All donations are appreciated.
And I do want to encourage you to do so because, folks, all this information is free and it's all within you. But what the service that we provide is we reflect that information back to you. And sometimes that's very helpful to be able to have it reflected from outside of you back to you. Sometimes it makes it a lot clearer than going within and trying to find it. So that's the service that we provide, and if you enjoy what you're listening to tonight and you enjoy my show and Daniel's show, then I do encourage you to donate. We do it because we love it, but every little bit helps, and the more encouragement that we have, the more that we can bring to you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and that's the beautiful way to put it. It's just it's a two-way street. Information comes out, it gets in, and that's what it is. And that's kind of what people. I used to have a bad belief system about spiritual things, money, about receiving money for the work I did, but I began to understand it's all about this work, this information, talking to Treb. All those things are shortcuts. We all have this information, like you said. We all have capability of getting it. But this can cut a lot of work out. It does cut a lot of shortcuts in your own lives out to connect to this information. So I appreciate that, Philip, too, very much. I love you guys, too, all very much. You can always contact me on Facebook at trebchanneling@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, trebchanneling.com. There's tons of information, different types of sessions that you can have with Treb. And the Treb thing has been going very great lately. I've been real busy in my own life, but Treb channeling is still available for anyone who wants to connect that. You can go to that website. And just remember, everybody, that if you want to contact us or you want to know about the upcoming shows, sign up for a Blog Talk account and then subscribe to us. You'll be able to see that. There's also a YouTube channel where you can see all of our past shows on YouTube, easy access. Also, the Enlightenment Evolution Hour page on Facebook and the Enlightenment Evolution Network page and group on Facebook, all of those things. I love you guys so much, and I love you too, Philip, and thank you so much for co-creating this with me.
Love you, Rob. Love you, Kalina. Awaken Within, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to Awaken. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much, and I am going to see you guys here next week. This is the Enlightenment Evolution Hour with your host, Rob Gauthier, and my very great co-host for the evening, Philip Malika, signing off. We love you guys.
Good night.
Love you, night.